she would say, "Do you know what you are yet?" I said, "No." I said, "Because they're all colors, all races in our family." Because my daughter, my youngest daughter, Andrea, she was working for Heckinger's, and they never knew what she was. And this girl one day said, after she got to work, this girl said to her, she said, "You know, I was walking along the street and I saw this here couple lying out there on the balcony as I was walking." And she said, my daughter said to her, said, well, what color were they? Who were they? She said, you might know they were niggers. And my daughter said to her, she said, "You know what? I'm one myself." She says, "I belong to the Negro race." She said, "And I tell you one thing, if you or anybody else call me a nigger, you got it." She said, "I will whip you till you can't move."
So what was it like around here as a child, as far as blacks and whites getting along? Were there problems?
No, we got along fine. Only there was one family, and the house is still standing up there. Across, as you come down that steep hill over there, that house is still standing. That's another place that I went to, over there, and they got a picture of me over there, I think, one day when we were over there to this meeting with this lady that moved away. And this little boy, we were working at that house there, and this little boy was standing there. He was out there in the yard, and we were looking. We were just standing at the door looking out. My sister Bernice, she's passed away now. And he looked at us and he said, "What are you niggers looking at?" Well, honey, we went out that place and we couldn't catch him. Well, this man that worked on the farm over there, they went out there to haul away the junk. They had a dump way back in the back. And he went out there with them. And my sister Bernice said, "We gonna get him. We gonna get him." I said, "Yes, we are." And they had a big tub outside a little house out there they had where the horses would drink water out. And when they came back from the dump, the little boy came on with him, and he had his back turned to us, and we saw him. And honey, we ran down there to get him. And he ran into the barn. And we ran in the barn. He thought he was going to get out the other side, but the other side of the door was locked, and he couldn't get out. And we tore that boy up. We tore him up, we tore his clothes off him, and we beat that boy terrible. And then we told him, "Now you can go home now, and you can tell your mother what we did, and if she wants to meet us out on the street tomorrow morning, to come on out, and we'll give her some too."
How old were you when this happened?
Oh, that was before I was married. I must have been about 14, 15. And my sister, she was a little older than me then. And you know what? We never had any more trouble out of that boy. That ended that. And we told, you can tell the people when they come back, because they went to the racetrack. They used to go to the racetrack that we worked for. And we told them, you can tell them what we did when you come back, and we'll give them some too.
Did you continue to work for these people after that?
Uh-huh. Everyone in our family, the 8 girls and a boy, if you go up this road now, you will see the hedges out there that my brother, oldest brother, planted out there. And that's another thing that I was walking down the road one day and I met this man. I was walking back in that back to see if the house still looked the same. And when he saw me, I said, I'm just over here looking to see if the thing's the same. I said, my brother set out those hedges there. He said he did. I said, yes, many, many years ago. He said, we got to replace some of them because they're dying. And because my brother, he worked outside and they raised chickens. And they would ship eggs. They would ship the eggs.
Where would they ship the eggs to?
I don't know where they went, anywhere they could. I don't remember where they ship eggs. That's the only thing that I have. I don't have these dates of things,
That's
you
okay.
know.
So when you were in this school that didn't have a name, they just called it the colored school?
Little color school.
Little colored school. What grade did it go up to?
7th.
And so what did you do after that?
7th grade. Oh, no. I don't know what grade it went to, but they finally built 11 Oaks out here. And then I was transferred there to that school, 11 Oaks. And we never went back to that school anymore.
And 11 Oaks was an elementary school?
And it had 2 rooms. And Mrs. Hughes, she had a transfer. She got transferred there to that school. And she was in one room, and another teacher by the name of Miss Agnes Chase was in the other. I think she came out from Washington. I'm not sure, but Miss Agnes and Mrs. Hughes. Mr. Hughes used to teach first, but after he passed away or retired, went into the government. Well, then she took over.
So after you finished the 7th grade at 11 Oaks, then what did you do?
Well, there was no high schools in Fairfax County for the blacks at that time. There was no high schools. So my oldest sister, Mama sent her to Harrisburg to go to high school, and she got up there and she got to crying. She wanted to come home. And Mama let her come on back home. And when I got old enough to go, she wouldn't send me. She wouldn't let me go. And I used to outspell the whole class. I could spell. And I liked history, as I told you. And I got so upset with Mama, I didn't know what to do. Because she wouldn't let me go, send me up there to high school. And my teacher, Mrs. Hughes, as I mentioned, she said, Mrs. Bowles, she said, I don't know why you don't send that child. She said, that's the smartest child you got. She said, as a matter of fact, I believe she's the smartest child in the school. Mama said, well, that's all right. If she's that smart, she could stay here and be smart. So I never did get to high school. And when I built this house, this man said to me, I can't think of his name either now, but I tried to get in touch with him quite a few years after I moved here. He came in, he said, I don't understand how you say that you did not go to high school. He said, and you did this house? He said, and everything. He said, and what? He said, did you go to college? I said, no, I never went to college, never went to high school. He said, well, I just don't understand. He said, if I were you, I wouldn't tell nobody that I hadn't been to college.
So what kind of work did you do then?
I think I had been, when I built this house, I was working for Fairfax County. As I told you, I was the first woman hired in Fairfax County schools. You know, I meant to go up here to the courthouse one day and go over there to the school building and tell those people, let them know who I am and let them know that I was the first woman that was hired in Fairfax County. But I just haven't done it. After I've got a problem with this colon so bad, I just haven't felt like going. But I was working for Fairfax County then.
Now, you said you lived a while in Falls Church, correct?
Yes, and then while I was building it, when I first got married,
Okay.
I went to Falls Church.
How'd you meet your husband?
He was playing ball, baseball player. He was one of the best sandlot pitchers in the county. He used to play down here at Sideburn, they called it. And he was the pitcher. When they heard that Willis Richards was going to pitch, boy, everybody would crowd around that baseball diamond.
Do you remember the name of his team?
No, they just called it the little colored baseball team.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you met him and you married him.
Yes, I married him. And then we stayed together, I think it was 14 years. And he became an alcoholic. I put up with that man and put up with that man and put up with that man. I begged him. I bought this half acre here from my daddy for $300.
Wow. What year was that?
I moved in this house in 60. So that must have been about 50,